Well, oh shit. Oh, okay. Oh shit. Oh, good heavens. I forgot I turned off the loop thing. And that was a very short song. I'm sorry. Alright. Hello. Let's get this bread. Let's start the strom. Well, first we'd like to welcome any new followers that followed off stream. Hey, Phoenix. Good to see you again. I'm gonna start doing that from now on. You know, from now on. Wrong button. From now on, anytime I start stream, first thing I'm gonna do is thank any offline followers that we amassed. Maybe even subscribe. What happened? You know, that moved. You weren't supposed to do that. There we go. I think I'll do that. Maybe. I don't know. If we somehow gain 1 million followers, and I'm like, oh god, we're gonna be here all day. Just be like, thanking patrons. Be like, if enough of you follow, this is gonna last like 10 minutes. Anyway. Also, great news, chat. I'm wearing pants today. That's right, summer has finally started to cuff off. We're 3 minutes in, I can cuss. Now, I'm saying that because I'm going to be posting my Twitch VODs on YouTube when they expire on the channel. So far, I've only posted one, but I think I can, I'm gonna post a VOD every Sunday. And then, yeah, it'll be a little bit behind, but maybe there'll be weeks where I double post to catch up. But, who knows? I need to sit properly. I'm slouching in my chair. Yeah, I gotta fix these cushions. I got like 2 butt pillows. 1 pillow for my butt, 1 pillow for my back. Not quite the way God intended for his children. But, then again, I don't think any of this was in God's plan. But that's just my opinion on the matter. Also, depending on how much I get done these next few days, we might finish, or at the very least, get to the point where I wanted to pause the comic for a bit to work on other things. Because, you know, I love working on my comic. Don't get me wrong. It seems like I don't with how much, how long my hiatuses are. I do love working on my creative projects. But that's the key word. Projects. Plurals. So, there's much work to be done. I have great plans for this town. Farmzoid. Away! If you don't understand that reference, I made a video about it on my channel. Like, last year. It has been a year since I've last made... It really has been a year since the last Halloween, huh? God, yeah, I was looking back at some of my old content on my YouTube channel, which is still up at Rune Space, no S. I was just, man, it really has been a year, huh? Since last I made those Halloween special, the spooky season special videos where I talked about different mythology and just spooky topics, and also talked about my favorite Halloween movie, and then did the live stream about my favorite Halloween candy, slasher films, and creepypastas and whatnot. It's like, man. La-di-da, 'tis autumn indeed. Uh-oh. I just realized something. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. I almost forgot. Actually, no. I didn't forget. Remember the last stream that we were struggling on this page? Yeah, I fixed it. I finished it. It looks good now. There we go. These next few pages might be a little harder, or maybe they'll be a little faster, because I'm going to be involving a bunch of canon Warrior Cats characters and reworking some of their designs in my style, because I have drawn these characters before, especially these three. I've already drawn, you know, it's funny, despite being one of my least favorite characters, I've drawn Breeze Pelt the most in this comic. That's because he's kind of important for one of the characters, well, one of my characters' history and development. And I have drawn other canon characters in the past, like at Hawkstar's 9 Live ceremony. That was really fun, designing some canon characters. It's really funny to see how different, like, my design style is for my guys versus canon. Because for canon characters, I try to stay as close and as loyal as possible. Call me the Soundwave of character design, because I'm that loyal. But it's also like, man, I want to have some creative liberties, because I don't want them to look too weird. Like, in the context of my comic, you're like, oh yeah, you can tell, I don't want to Scooby-Doo myself. If you know, you know. I don't want a Scooby-Doo cameo myself with these characters. But I also want them to look familiar enough so where people can just look at them and go, oh yeah, that's that character. Although, like, for these guys, it's going to be obvious for, like, who is who. But I think for the next page, I'm definitely going to have to add some labels like I did for the 9 Live ceremony, which I have asked my audience in the past, and they said it was fine. So I'm no stranger to that. This shall be interesting. And given the actual title of the stream, we might break away from the norm and actually talk about the source material for this fan comic. Long story short, to make a long story short, I actually liked this franchise. I mean, I liked this. Ooh, whoops. I liked the series. I like Warrior Cats, don't get me wrong. It's just the since Vision of Shadows, and I was already losing patience with Omen of the Stars. Like, The Fourth Apprentice was fine, and then I just slowly started losing patience with the series, especially Omen of the Stars. Something about Dovewing just pissed me off as a character, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I loved Hollyleaf so much. I don't know. And just hate Ash for now. It's because of Power of Three I hate Ashfur. All of my Ashfur hate is from that series. Before that, I was like, he's kind of pathetic. But I also didn't like Squirrel Flight because, and I know this is kind of a bad take, but give me a break, I was a kid. I thought, I genuinely was with Ashfur and Brambleclaw on this, because I genuinely, for some reason, thought that, Squirrel Flight, totally forgot her name for a sec, was leading Ashfur on. But she wasn't. She was just hanging out with another friend, because another friend was being a dick to her. And he was. Brambleclaw was being an absolute twat. To Squirrel Flight, there's no questioning that. I'm gonna make that a little more opaque. There we go. But it's just like, back in the day, because we were reading it from Brambleclaw's perspective, so of course I would understand from Brambleclaw's perspective, because back then I didn't know what an unreliable narrator was. But if you actually look at the context of what was actually happening, Brambleclaw is a very unreliable narrator, and he's actually quite a toxic person. Despite the fact that he's a cat. But yeah, watch Moon Kitty's video on Squirrel Flight. It's very good. I don't want to say Moon Kitty's word as gospel, but she definitely did help me see an alternate perspective and actually pointed out all the patterns. Same with, like, Dovewing and Bumblestripe. I didn't realize, reading the book, I genuinely feel like I read a completely different series than everyone else. Which is possible. The regional printing for Warrior Cats is famous for having different regional printing, because to fix story errors and continuity errors and whatnot, which I think is hilarious, but it's also really fucking frustrating. Like, just no. Alright? But when I read, Dovewing with Bumblestripe, admittedly, I was getting flashbacks to, Blue Fur, was her wear name, Blue Star, and Thrushpelt. I was getting flashbacks to Thrushpelt, and I'm like, oh god, no! No, not again! No! Why are you fooling around with that dumb Sam Tigerheart when you got a perfectly good, handsome Tom right in front of you in Bumblestripe? Little did I know! I don't know what it was. Maybe I was just really freaking... I was also really just biased against Dovewing to begin with. I was and still kinda am one of those people that believe Hollyleaf should have been the third cat, and if not Hollyleaf, it should have been Ivypool. And I genuinely thought that, you know, that Hollyleaf was the third cat, was like one of the three, but since she left and StarClan lost track of her, that they moved the power to Dovewing, which is why she kept losing her power, because it wasn't hers to begin with. That's what I genuinely thought it was for the longest time. That's because I just hated her guts. I don't remember why. I know if I reread the series, I'll probably have a completely different perspective, which would be interesting. I just don't have the time. Unless I found a really good audiobook. Does he have markings anywhere else? Hang on. You think I remember the design of my own characters. Where are they? Okay, and I don't have that other page saved. Technically, no. Just the shadow. Alright. But apparently, if you actually read Power of 3, Bumblestripe was being very manipulative and gaslighting, Duffling. What is his markings? Now, this guy, I also did design, so there's no excuse. What the fuck is his face? Oh, okay. So yeah, I do kind of miss Warrior Cats in a way. I really, really miss the community. I remember being really into the Warrior Cats community. It was like one of the first fandoms I joined on mass. You know? Really freaking hard to see what's going on with this. And the back. Okay. And I think I made his tail black. Isn't Breeze Pelt canonically just a solid black Tom? Because his dad is solid black, his mom was solid black. It'd be weird if he wasn't. No topic today, guys. We're drinking Monster with a durian sweet peach juice tea, actually. Sweet peach tea mixed in with this Monster. Because Peach Monster is very hit and miss. I'm just gonna make his tail black, just to separate his leg from the rest of his body. And the line art will be colored, so there's that as well. I forgot his scar in this one, but that's okay. Scars are typically, they're either that color or that color. I'm gonna give him this color just to prove a point. There we go. Oh, good heavens. No way, yeah. I need to get back into drawing some... I'm on the wrong layer. Hold up, there we go. Anyway, I need to get back into drawing fan art. Just in general. But I do like it, it's just I don't do it. Because like I demonstrated with my Saja Boys video, that YouTube is for some reason repressing. I like drawing fan art, and I love fandom interpretation. I just suck at drawing art of characters that I like. I don't know what it is. Except Warrior Cats. And maybe My Little Pony. For some reason, when it comes to literally any other character, every time I try to draw them, they look like hot garbage. Hot garbage. Or if they're from a different cartoon that is hyper stylized. He has a black nose, right? Yeah, I'm just gonna give him a black nose. The colored line art will help make him look less like a amorphous blob. But also I do think it's kind of funny if he is just amorphous. I'm asexual myself. He's already gonna be heavily shaded, so I don't think I need to worry about it that much. Okay, merge down. Let's move on to this big guy. It's also really funny, despite not liking Omen of the Stars, it's the one I had the most inspiration for art and animatics. Because the idea of cats from hell coming back is just so cool. And the place of no stars is so cool because it was similar to the old plot of my comic Dreamwalkers. Ended up changing the lore. Thank God I did that. Holy shit, that would have been terrible. Okay. Now he is a large, broad-shouldered brown tabby tom with amber eyes. Good Jesus. How many characters does Warrior Cats have that are broad-shouldered brown tabby toms? It thickens me. Now, I have drawn Tiger Star several times in the past, but I want to draw him differently this time. I think that's a little too dark. Okay, that's better. Because he's not dark brown, he's just brown. Hot Frost is dark brown. It says so in his Warriors wiki page, which I have been referencing very heavily for these designs because I just cannot be bothered to go look. Now, he's not a mackerel tabby, so I think. If I give him more like a... Oh. Sorry, baby. You probably couldn't see it, but I definitely give, like, some of that design because his warrior name was Tiger Claw. I'm gonna give him, like, sharp edges, so maybe I could do this. Yeah! I like drawing evil kitties. think I'm gonna add just a little bit of an underbelly. Even though it's not in his design at all cats naturally have lighter underbellies. Except if they're a solid color. And he is Hawkstar's father. Oh, whoa! Whoa! Hawkfrost. Wow, different Hawk cat. He is Hawkfrost's father, and Hawkfrost has a white underbelly. Because his mom was a fucking Siamese? Or something, so she wouldn't have white on her at all. Unless she's one of those Siamese, but she's more of a coffee colored, is what they said. And I mean, her other name was Brownie when she was with the humans, the two legs. I'm gonna give permanent angry eyebrows. There we go, yeah, that's something. And then the typical nose color. The thing is, like, the thing with character design, I've seen people like Tennille Flowers and other artists draw the cats from the Dark Forest, giving them, like, different colored eyes and having them still permanently bleeding from their mortal wounds, which is so cool, but the fact is that they don't look like that. They just look like regular cats. Because of, in the lore, everyone else thought they were just Starkland cats. And it was only later when they were revealed that I was like, oh, this actually isn't that. I will color the line art for these guys slightly different. Now, since I already have a plan for Maple Shade, I'm going to color her next. Now, Maple Shade is one of those villains where I remember really liking her for some reason, but then when I talk to everyone else, it's like, everyone hates her. And I'm just sitting here like, why? And I think it's due to the fact that she was just a background character, really, in Omen of the Stars. And then she got her own little novella, and then now she's everywhere. Yeah, it turns out in Tiger Star's Fury, she was the one, like, egging him on. And the reason why the reason why, if the books and novellas are to be believed, the reason why Tiger Star was the biggest bastard the clans had ever seen was because this whore, Maple Shade, was whispering in his ear, and it's actually not his fault. It's fucking excuse me. Tiger Claw was a cool villain. Tiger Star was a cool villain before that. He didn't need Maple Shade's help. She can just shut the fuck up. And turns out she's also sort of responsible for... Not responsible, but she's also... was involved with Thistleclaw. And Thistleclaw was also training in the Dark Forest. I'm like, I thought Thistleclaw was just a bastard by himself, but no, it turns out they were interfering with the lives and destinies of Catsy long before Omen of the Stars, and I'm like, okay, now wait, what the hell? What kind of reverse world building is this? Now, granted, I am no stranger to reverse world building. I do it all the time. But this, it just seemed so unplanned. It's very, just not well thought out at all. But granted, we have, like, the benefit of retrospect and separation. This looks kind of weird, but okay, I'll fix it. She looks more like a fox here. She's supposed to be tortoiseshell, and in all her designs, she's got a very dark head going on. And I want her to look I want her to look pretty, like, used to be pretty, but her bitterness and sourness has warped her, what's the word? Well, just warped her. And now she's just this shadow of her former self. Because obviously she was a prominent warrior enough in her clan to be supposed mates with the deputy, who was also the leader's son, and the medicine cat's brother. Which, conflict of interest, if you ask me. The only reason Maple Shade was banished is because it was just bad timing and a horrible situation for everyone involved. Everyone thought she was mates with the deputy, who was also, yeah, like I said, the leader's son, who had died, and it turns out the person she's actually mates with, murdered the deputy. But it wasn't technically... It was still murder, but it was self-defense in a skirmish. He drowned. Unfortunate situation. I'm gonna give her... Now, she is gonna look kind of like a fox, but her name is Maple Shade. So, she's gonna... In my version, she's gonna be mostly reddish-orange with some white, and the dark bits are gonna be on her head and shoulders, and maybe tail. But, of course, I will not be drawing her completely in this, page. Although, later, I might just draw, like, design them in full, to say, hey, they appeared in my comic, here's how I would draw them fully. But she does look more like a fox, and I think that's just the orangey look to it. Yeah. People are gonna know who she is just by, just by proxy of everyone else around her. Since she is more faded than the other cats, I might give her... I might lower her opacity. I completely forgot about that, so now she's on the same layer as Hawkfrost, so I'm like, god damn it, I might have to erase her. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm actually gonna smudge out the bottom, like, her colors, and smudge her line art a little bit more in the rendering phase. I'm gonna do that. But her eyes are gonna stay just as opaque. I think... yeah. Okay, he's done a lighter nose color. There's the typical nose. For my warrior cats, my version of the Dark Forest or Starkland, the last thing to fade is their eyes. Ow! Oh well. For some reason, and I'm not the only person who thought of this, and I'm so glad someone else did. I think, when I think of the Dark Forest and, like, trying to pick songs for, like, animatics and whatnot, I immediately go to Five Nights at Freddy's. For some reason, and I'm so glad I'm not the only one who thought about this. For the longest time, it felt like I was the only one who was thinking about it, and I had, like, several different FNAF songs picked out. And I had made it an old Google Doc. It's like animatics I would make if I was talented. I might add different orange blotches here. Like, more red. Because her name is Maple Shade, so she's going to be... That looks so good, actually. Oh my god, I'm so glad I did that. That looks really good. Now her face... There we go. Her face looks more... I'm not going to do the yellow bits, but her face now looks more like a maple leaf. Yeah. I like that. Alright, now for the... Frost, oh my god, I can't see shit on this guy's face. There we go. Alright. It says he only has a white underbelly, but despite me calling myself the Soundwave of character design, I also am a character designer. Like, my canon design of Blackstar is like, he's solid white with black paws. It's like, the hell he is. I gave him black markings on his eyes and ear tips, because I like my boys looking pretty. There we go. And we gotta draw attention to the eyes. The eyes are the most important part of a character design. We have to draw attention to it. There we go. Oh, that was kind of cool. And then up here, if I... Oh wait, wrong color. There we go. There. That'll help. Just fill in the pixels. For some reason, that took all of my concentration. Dark brown, mackerel tabby with a white underbelly and ice blue eyes. That is all I have to work with. So what we gonna do, because cats naturally have slightly lighter muzzles. I'm just gonna do that so I can see what the fuck I'm doing. There we go. Turn that up a bit. There we go. Now, I don't like using solid black on characters, but Hawk Frost is already really fucking dark, so I think I'm gonna make his more of a gray. And then... yeah. Yeah. Despite being more like his father, I'm gonna make Hawk Frost look less like his father, and almost not quite the opposite, but maybe, because they're both ambitious, but they went about it in completely different ways, which I kind of like, that they weren't just a copy paste of each other, even though they kind of are. Don't get it twisted. I do have a character that is a mackerel tabby, and I designed them very different, not her, but I designed them very differently than I would my regular tabbies, but I, for the life of me, can't remember. Now, most people design Hawk Frost, and I used to design Hawk Frost a lot lighter than his brother, like tan, and I don't know where I got that. I think it was from other people's fan art. But apparently he is a dark brown mackerel, broad-muzzled, Tom. I might tell this white part to chill out a little bit. Without encroaching too much. Yeah, that's a little better. Okay, yeah, that is much better. I also could have made it almost off-white. Yeah, I like that a lot more. So we're just gonna cover this up momentarily. There we go. And then come back with this. Do some of this. And some of this. And that. Oh, that is absolutely gorgeous. Too bad he's a boring character. You know, it's fun. Tiger Star's actually looking really boring compared to these two. I gotta up my game with this guy. What's going on here? What's going on? What's up? Maybe it's one of those things where his face is kind of boring, but if you see him in context, he looks better. So let's just pretend that's the point. Okay. And the backgrounds here are going to be really easy, but for... Any nerds in the chat, can you confirm, was the Dark Forest battle at night? Because a lot of people tend to forget the Blood Clan battle was in the middle of winter. So is this one of those instances where it was also, like, in the middle of winter? Because it had to have been overcast because the lightning struck a tree. And that's what killed Firestar. A tree. I thought he collapsed, like, he and Tiger Star, like, dealt their killing blows and he just fell later. But I don't think that was the case. Hey, Dargoris? Is that how you say your name? Dargoris? Hello. Welcome to the stream. I am working on a Warriors fan comic while also talking about how much I kind of begrudgingly miss Warrior Cats. It was a very big part of my junior high years. This looks terrible. Hang on. What the Huey? Okay, I got it right. Yes. Phew! Thank goodness. What is Warrior Cats? Warrior Cats is, or was, I think it's still going, a young adult novel series focused on cats that live in clans in the forest and sometimes they kill each other. That's kind of the deal. That's how a lot of fans will describe it to you. Cats that kill each other. Some people have called it Baby's First Watership Down. But I think calling it, like, Watership Down but cats is a little disingenuous. Because Watership Down has better lore. And Watership Down didn't have magical ghosts that came back and walked in other cats' dreams and stuff. Sounds interesting. Yeah. I definitely suggest, if you have the time, reading the first series. because it generally is just entertainment. But after series 2, I think, you know, that's when it started to go downhill for me. But that's just me personally. Other people enjoyed the franchise, like the later series. Thing you're talking about? Watership Down? Oh, that's also rabbits. But Watership Down is one book, technically 2, written a long time ago, and it has rabbits. You might recognize it from being a very bloody movie that a lot of parents thought was okay for children, and then were shocked in theaters when those rabbits were violently dying. Because that's kind of the reality of the rabbit world. This was the things my generation grew up viewing, and all the adults in our lives wonder why we turned out the way we did. I'm assuming this flashback takes place at night, or at the very least is very overcast, because there was a thunderstorm in the old book, so... Hang on. Oh no, your Wi-Fi died! And I hate it when that happens. When I get technical difficulties during stream, oof, nothing makes me crash out more. And this is also a river clan, so there's probably going to be the lake behind them, or some reeds. I mean, you can't really see it all, but we can imply with shape. Because that's the beauty of art. You can imply with shape. And thank you very much. I've been drawing my entire life. People often ask me for advice on how to draw, and honestly, the only advice I can say is just don't give up. In the wise words of Joan Jett, don't surrender. Because the fight inside your heart is your best defender. Don't surrender. Thinking, oh yeah, the amount of improvement you can achieve in just 2 months is fascinating. A lot of people don't realize improvement is an active choice. Or not choice, that's not quite the right word. Improvement is an action. It's something you actively participate in, so if you want to improve, you will. Because it's something you have to work for. Since these guys are going to be colored at night, I think we can get away with having a very minimalistic background. But y'all know me, I gotta go the extra mile because I'm crazy. That's too purple. There we go. Cartoon stuff? Yeah, very cartoonish. I've heard some people describe my style as reminiscent of the early 2000s, like 2003 pseudo-anime style. I'm gonna add some fog. here to kind of add to the, not the mystique, but the fact that this isn't a memory. Yeah, there we go. I'm having fun. You draw the anime style? Oh, bless. If you can achieve the anime style, I say Godspeed, but I also say, bless, because I know if you draw anime, my god, no one ever leaves you alone. That either think you're a freak or constantly asking you to draw things for them. I would know because when I was practicing, like, a more manga slash chibi art style, my god, my classmates would not leave me alone. I was like, can you draw this for me? It's like, yeah, I'll draw it for you because I am so desperate for validation by my peers. Waffles! Hi! It's good seeing you again. Send me? I don't really have DMs. You're talking about, like, whispering, right? I think that's okay. If you have a DeviantArt, which is what I post all my art on, you can tag me in a piece, and then I can give you my opinion, but I am a little busy right now. Huh. Not really a fan of sending links in Discord. For your own safety. If you could maybe, I don't know, does Twitch still have whispers? If you could whisper it to me, or, like, tag me on Discord, or, not Discord, on DeviantArt, or Tumblr. I do also have a Tumblr. And I do also have YouTube community. I have everything but DMs. What's wrong with the Discord link? I don't really use Discord, one. And I don't think it's a good idea for you to be posting, for anybody to be posting links in chat. Especially Discord links, because people are crazy. And you don't want that sort of, leakage. So, it's just a personal preference of mine. For your safety and my sanity. Okay, I think that one's done. Where did I... Okay, now for this one, I think we're Jesus Christ! Thank you for the follow. Holy shit, that scared the shit out of me. Thanks, Waffles, for the follow. Fucking god. And that's not even a scare notification. That's just... that's just loud. For me it is anyway. I don't know if it was loud for you guys. But it sure was for me. Oh man, that's good. If you want some of the best drink you'll ever have, get a regular Monster and get, what is this? Get, this Korean iced tea sweet peach, drink. I think it's from Balanced Grow. Get some of that and do a 50-50 mix with a regular Monster. Oh my god. It is so good. Just a picture that will open. It's not something that someone can ever link with. I've done it already multiple times. I don't want to set a precedent. I'll tell you what. You post your art on whatever social media you got, and just tag me in it, asking for advice or whatnot. I'll see it later, and that will probably be the best option. Because I don't like looking at things and opening links when I'm on stream. Mostly because of safety, but also because my poor, broke-ass computer can't multitask to save its life. And I have looked at other things while on stream, and my computer damn near broke. Just everything crashed. Just, no! Alright. How am I gonna do this? I know I definitely want these guys backlit by something. If I still dumbassed what you said. Just wherever you want to post your art, just tag me in it and I'll see it later. And that will, like, guarantee that I do see it. So, yeah, just tag me. It's not a rule for me, no links in chat, but it's kind of an unspoken rule on Twitch that links in chat are a bad idea. Ooh! Okay. I just came up with an idea. I'm gonna make that more red. That's my issue for formatting these pages without a clear idea of what the background is going to be. Anywhere you don't have socials. Well, I'm honestly, good for you. Good for you. Social media is terrible, so I guess the Discord thing would be better. We'll figure this out eventually. I just don't personally. When people say, hey, can you check this out? It's like, yeah, I'll check it out later. Right now, I'm busy. One day, if it gets enough demand, I might host a stream where the entire stream is just me looking at people's art and sharing it, especially during, like, Art Fight or something. But that ain't gonna be for another year. Yeah. Much love, man. Thank you for understanding. Okay, yeah, that looks good. And, of course, with the shading, these guys are gonna get, it's gonna look completely different. So we can... take that, merge it down just a little bit to connect the pages, to harmonize the page. I can talk. And then we're gonna add some, I don't know. Trust the process. Trying to blur this without anything going to hell. Why aren't you working in this area? I'm gonna do it here, so yeah, just in a smidge. Do you see profile photos of the people in chat? Just asking. Not on this end. No, not from my, Eat. I use Streamlabs and it doesn't show me people's icons, and even on Twitch's end, it doesn't show me. If I was viewing the official Twitch chat, then yeah, but my Twitch also keeps buffering. Excusez-moi, monsieur? Alright. That would have annoyed me. Okay. Not blur. Actually, hold up. English is my first language. I'm just quirky. You bought this CRT TV, spent 30 euros on the adapter that only displays in black. Ain't that just the way? Since she's more... since Maple Shade is faded in a hole. Let's... I'm gonna gently... because I worked hard on this line art. I'm going to gently... that's the wrong... smudge... her stuff. Yeah, I don't understand Twitch emojis either. I'm very new to all of this. Okay, let's see if I even like this, the way this looks. Kinda. This is just showing I did a shitty job of completely covering all the extra pixels when coloring her, but it comes to my advantage because it adds an extra highlight. What I can also do is I can take this up, down the opacity, erase a little. Because Maple Shade at this point is supposed to be almost completely faded. Because that's how long it takes to slowly die when no one remembers you. But I do want her to be visible, so I think she's just gonna be at that point. But it'll be more... It'll be showcased with how much of the background you can see. Because that was supposed to be, like, what really weirded out the other cats. Like, they could almost see through her. And it was like, oh my. And then, I think it was like Tiger Star or someone else was like, oh, don't mind her. She's just cranky because she's almost completely faded. And then everyone in the fandom would say, what? So, cats, good or bad, fade away when there's no one left around that remembers them. No one alive that remembers them. Excuse me? And all the all the white kids were like, oh my god, that's terrifying. Meanwhile, all the Mexican kids are like, yeah, that's how the afterlife works. Yeah, that's familiar. They should really put up a ofrenda. If only. Going to erase that to show that he's actually standing on something. There we go. Clipping! Multiply! 65! Green! That's too green! Better! Because he's still in the real world, and this is a memory, so we can color him differently. Oh, but the sun's coming from that direction, so it's gonna be less... Darn. Oh, but he does have a tree right behind him, so yeah, this... That... A little less of this. Maybe more of that. So this. Some of this. Some of that. This. And that. There we go. And then you add the orange around the shadow, because that's how shadows work apparently. And I don't mean that sarcastically, that is genuinely how shadows work. I don't get it, but it's the coolest detail ever. You can see, when I blur this, look at that. Just like in real life. I'm gonna add another multiply layer for him because it's gonna be night. So, oops, it's gonna be dark. Erase that. Cover it back up with whatever that is. Do you know Czech Republic? I have not been there, but I know that it exists. I think I knew someone from Czech Republic. He was a foreign exchange student. What layer is this on? 90. So this is going to be 90 as well, or at least as close to it. That looks a little too purple, I'm realizing. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that looks better. Brother. Czech Republic. That's somewhere in Asia, right? Honestly, I used to know a lot of really good geography. And then I graduated and just dumped all that information. But this is a true story. I genuinely spent a good 15 minutes the other day trying to find Croatia on the map because for some reason I was completely convinced Croatia was in Africa. Spoiler alert. Croatia is in Europe, not Africa. And I don't know why I was convinced of that. Yeah, I thought Croatia was in Africa for some reason. For some reason, I thought it was in Africa. Even though I knew it was in Europe, and I just couldn't remember where it was. I was just, why the fuck is this? It's in Europe. Yeah, well, you're lucky, okay? I'm an American. I'm a dumbass American. We don't know shit. It's because it takes us 3 hours just to get anywhere. And we're still in the same state. What did you think? Oh god. Check see. Oh goodness, where is that? Why did my chat box buffer? What's up? Oh, thanks.
I got distracted about halfway through, so I had to throw on the stuff that I was going to put in the rice while I was cooking it, just on the top.
Any vegetables in here?
No.
We got some chopped peppers. Am I not allowed chopped peppers? Or onions?
Oh, there's onions in there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I put some chili oil and soy sauce on top, though. Because the soy sauce was supposed to be cooked with the rice, but I got distracted cutting up the meat. So the rice is a bit crunchy.
Oh, okay.
So, doesn't taste bad, though.
Okay, that was my sister. And she brought me some lunch. Which, yeah, it's 12:21. So, yeah, I shall be eating my food. I'm still here, guys. I don't have a Sprite for, like, eating food because what I eat is very irregular. It's like in the Netherlands, we have two sides. Either be good at geography or can't point out a province on the map. There's no in between. I feel it's kind of like that everywhere. It's like, I live in Washington State, and there are some people where I'll say, oh, I'm from this town, and they're like, huh, I've never heard of that before, and I'm like, I live 20 minutes away from this area. What do you mean you've never heard of this town before? But that's just how it be. She's right, the rice is a little crunchy. So you hear me chewing on that, I do apologize. So Waffles, how you been, man? I heard that you also had we're thinking about leaving YouTube. How'd that work out? Well, obviously you're here, so... You didn't pull a me and almost completely give up, eh? I damn near did. But... we must remember the age-old saying. The horrors persist, but so do I. So we keep on keeping on. Channel's been a wasteland for a couple of weeks now. Yeah, and we're not the only ones experiencing this, man. A lot of people have said YouTube's viewership has just dropped since they rolled out this new restriction. Not just the age restriction, like YouTube has been actively restricting videos and sometimes entire channels from their algorithm. I've noticed it for the past few months. So, everything's just going to hell. The only question is some sites are going to hell a lot faster than others. And it's not, they're treating it like it's a race, like it's a race. Like, who can crash their website faster? It's like, no, bro, you don't want to do that. But hey. So weird. The corporations are so desperate for money that they are willing to kill their own business just for an extra buck. Yeah. Did none of y'all grow up with the old tale of the goose that laid the golden eggs? Did none of you read that? Or was that just a me thing? Oh, the goose that laid the golden eggs. It's, I guess it is an American thing. It's an old tale of this, farmer. And he has this goose, and it laid an egg of solid gold. And he's like, wow, solid gold? I can sell this and make money. And every day the goose would lay a single solid gold egg. And I guess the farmer got greedy and said, hey, if I cut open the goose and look inside, maybe I'll get even more golden eggs. But all he did was kill that goose, and he eventually ran out of gold. So, like, the moral of the story is don't, you know, kill something that's giving you good things for free. If you want more gold, you let the thing live. But that's the tragedy of greed. You only want more. When was when I was a kid, so it was like, ugh. And when I was a kid, it was like an old Aesop, so it was like 20 years ago? First thing I see is make free amazing artwork with Copilot. Keep up. Oh my, yeah, I know. Like I said, on our way to hell in a handbasket. I think, say what you will about Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle made a very good point. It is so hard for for our generation, basically, to care about to care about a thing when we know every goddamn thing. It feels like every day is a national tragedy. So we just stop caring because we're just so oversaturated with bad news all the time. It's like, oh, this tragedy has happened. It's like, again? This national tragedy has happened again? Jesus Christ. It's a never-ending slosh machine. You kidding me? I mean, I'm 27. And when I was a kid, that story was already really old. So... It's not all bad news, though. Forgot to ask, is it age restricted here? Well, Twitch's rules are you must be 13 and older. I personally have not marked my channel as 18 plus. Because I am honestly trusting you guys to be mature enough to handle the topics that we discuss here. But, you know, the only not safe for work thing we talk about is like gore and cussing. That's about it. So technically, yes, it's age restricted. You must be 13 or older to have a Twitch account. But this specific stream is not 18 plus. Even though, technically, with the amount of cuss words I say, it should be. But, I mean, kids these days cuss worse than I do. Well, Dardarus, you got about 30 seconds to clear out, man, because that's Twitch chat. That's the Twitch rules. Feel so hopeless every time I see our country going to hell. Yeah. At this point, I just feel bad about not caring, but news is a bitch. Exactly. Exactly. Older. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. Dyslexia. I read it as I don't know what the fuck I misread it as. I'm sorry. You're good, man. You're good. Also, I don't know if it's offensive to anybody. I say man to everybody because apparently I'm a cool dude from the 80s, even though I was born in 98. I also say I use dude as a gender neutral term. I don't know if that's triggering for some people, but it's just how I talk. And clear out. What I did wrong? No, you're good, man. I misread. I be the dumbass here. I'll be the first to admit it. I don't be the stupid. Isn't the first time it's happened. Okay, am I backlighting? Yeah. Yeah, I'm backlighting these guys. Oi, MediBang, please. Because the light source is technically... I want it to look like it's coming from below them. And they're already pretty dark characters, so... Honestly, I think the only time I will legally have to mark any stream of mine 18 plus is if I start talking about my story Gatesville, because that is definitely a mature themed story. Not because of anything, you know, a lot of people think NSFW automatically means porn. It's not. It's just dark and heavy themes of, like, words that would get me demonetized on YouTube. Because YouTube is a bunch of pansies. But not Twitch chat, yeah, we're a bunch of edgelords. That actually looks really good. I'm not going to shade Breeze Pelt here, because I'm tired of working on this page, and I want to get to the line art. VHS takes mobile phones, so yeah, your room is absolutely stuffed, so there's space to actually sit down. Brother man, you brother man, you might have a problem. If you were a dragon, you'd have the coolest horde. That's a good thought exercise. Alright, everyone in chat. If you were a dragon, how cool would your horde be? If I was a dragon, I would probably just... My horde would just be a bunch of character references that I never use, and monster tabs. So I still collect those for whatever ungodly reason. I backlight the OCs that don't even... As I asked, jokingly, if you were a dragon, what would your horde be? And I was saying mine would be a bunch of character references, or character designs that I drew once and then never again. Or monster tabs. I mean, you can have multiple things in your horde. You're a dragon, you can make the rules. You know, just like in mythology, dragons hoard things in their cave. So that's just what I'm asking. Most dragons covet gold. I covet cute characters. Because I have this nasty habit of designing a character, keeping it, redesigning it, because I was saying, I, for some reason, think, oh, if I just redesign this character, maybe I'll draw it, be more inclined to draw it. And then I never do. I spend weeks redesigning that damn character, and then guess who's still not getting drawn? Half of my OCs are just never drawn, even though I've redesigned them 3 times. Oh yeah, yeah. Waffles explained it to keep or to collect things, but then not do anything with them. Ooh, this actually needs to be red. Because he's in a different... maybe not that way, though. Maybe more like that. Yeah, that's better, that's better. Yeah, like, collecting things, but it's to an unhealthy degree. Because, like, a dragon hoard... It really... It means that you're hoarding it. You're collecting it, but it's just piling up to the point where it just takes up the entire space. So, like, Waffles. He's hoarding old tech. Hopefully you're doing something with it, my guy. But then again, I also have a bunch of plushies that I've never played with and all kinds of things. Wheat with weed. English, yeah, you're completely okay, guys. English is a very dumbass complicated. It's stupidly complicated for no reason, yet it is also a very simple language. Because whoever wrote English decided to be quirky. Was like that. English is 3 languages in a trench coat. It is Latin, Germanic, and French in a trench coat. There's a lot of like English terms were actually French. I have not saved this entire time. So I'm gonna save, I'm gonna eat this. I'm gonna continue eating my lunch. And then we'll probably move on to the next page. At the rate we're going, I'll probably catch up to where I want. And like finish this batch of pages next week. Usually chat. Oh no. Lay it on me, brother. How effed up is the check link? Holy shit! Oh! Wow! Oh my god! You see, kids, that's why we don't talk with our mouth full. That chili oil just went straight to the back of my throat. I'm okay. I'm okay. Once heard someone call touch drunk. Oh, Australian. That's that word. Okay. So there's an L there, right? You know what's funny? I actually have this theory that Americans aren't as dumb as people think they are. It's just because of the way our language is, a lot of Americans have dyslexia. So we'll mix up words like Austria and Australia because they lurk. Wow, they look similar enough. For us to get confused, but they're completely different. And we know there's a huge difference between Austria and Australia. No one would confuse the two for another if they were standing side by side. But the words look and sound similar. And, you know, sometimes we just a slip of the tongue. The amount of times I've accidentally said Australia when talking about Austria is embarrassing. Oh yeah, the E's thing. Oh my goodness. I'd bitch about the English language for hours, while also getting more and more frustrated because my speech impediment is just mixing up consonants all the time. Consonants, not continents, and not countenance, and not constants. You see what I mean? I've said 4 different words that have nothing to do with each other, yet they sound so similar, and the spelling is only a few letters off. Oh, the puppy. Well, the dog's dying too. Are we all just coughing today? No offense to the Dutch language, but it really looks like someone just smashed a keyboard when trying to write English. And that just looks like that's just the Dutch language. No offense, but that's kind of what it looks like half the time. Okay, this is going to be interesting. These are more canon characters. I'm gonna make him slightly more... I'm gonna make Ant Pelt more red, because I just imagine ant... In my mind, ants are red. So, making him maybe more of a reddish tan. Will be worth it. If you wanted to teach you some easy Czech words? Hey, yeah, sure. We're all about sharing knowledge in this... I almost said on this channel, but we're not on YouTube anymore. In this, chat room, I guess. Is it still a Twitch channel? Yeah, it's still a channel. I can still say channel, right? That's not a YouTube exclusive. But also, I will be posting my Twitch VODs on YouTube once they've disappeared from Twitch, because they'll be gone after 7 days, because I'm not an affiliate. Alright, picking up all the stray pixels. We're good. We're good. We're good. Yeah. 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 Okay. When do you want to learn? I guess a nice start is with hello. Absolutely. You always start with a greeting. Ugh. Now, I'm gonna absolutely butcher this. But Waffles, what the fuck did you just type in chat? Electric, it's production meet Chappie. What the fuck is that? That's what it looks like. Electrite, its production meet Chappie. I have no idea what that word is, but that's what it looks like. Someone forgot the space bar and your keys got stuck. I'm not making fun of the language, but that's just what it looks like, and I think it's funny. Okay, hello in Czech. All right, you're gonna have to. In Czech? How are the vowels pronounced? And is the J silent, or is it an H? Because that, if I understand how the vowels are pronounced and how certain J's are pronounced, I think I can get a language down. Or if I hear it. If I hear a language, I can maybe pick up on it. Because I'm an auditory person. Say yo, please. Alright, yo. Oh, it's a yes sound. Okay. That makes sense. Kind of like in Hebrew. The J, there's no J in the Hebrew language. It's a yah sound. It's a yud. That's why people say, yeah, yud hey vav hey. Yeah, yud. That's their air quote J sound. So his name isn't Jesus. It's Yeshua. I'm almost done with my rice. Okay, so the J is a yah. And it's at the end of a word. Well, now I'm put on the spot. Okay, I'm done with my rice. I want to say... Oh, geez. How do I even say that? Now I'm panicking. In English, AH is ah. Aoya? Or is it kind of like ciao? Or is it like Italian where ciao, the yeah is very, it's softer at the end, so it's not owl, but like I. Ah! No. That's not kitty food. Sorry, I had to yell at my cat. Okay, the first... Okay, how did I say it the first time? How did I say it the first time? I wasn't even paying attention. Like... My first instinct is to say, oh yeah, but I don't think that's right. In fact, I know for I'm pretty sure that's not it. How the hell am I gonna format this page? Hold on, everything pause. Okay. We're gonna put... Okay, we're gonna put him on the same layer as this guy. Maybe in front. And then we're gonna put these two on the same layer. If I can figure out how to... And then this motherfucker again. Here. Christ on a bike. And here. It's not a... Yeah. Oh. Oh. How do you add a... How do you say the yo without an A at the end? How do you do that? Yeah. And this guy's up here. Maybe. We'll get back to the language lesson in a second. Hang on, I need to lock in for a second. Where am I putting these bastards? Okay. You take this position on the last layer. Coming out behind this, well, I'm gonna fill it, this guy. Same with you, even though you're more of a dark, so I'm gonna make you this gray, actually. Oh, that's so pretty. Okay, I prefer that color. This color. Coloring behind her, because you're gonna get... We didn't fade it up! By the man. Hey, don't get frustrated if you're... I understand. And Waffles can attest to this. Trying to teach me other languages is an uphill struggle. All of my Spanish teachers, even my Hebrew teacher will tell you, teaching me a foreign language is harder than it is for me to learn another language. Sometimes I'll get the accent right. Once I get the accent down, then I'm good. But first, I have to get the accent down. And then to get the accent down, you have to understand how the vowels are said. Ah! And it also is pretty hard to like do it over chat, especially for me. I'm an auditory person, which means I need to hear the language in order to get it down a little better. Like, the reason why Spanish isn't or wasn't as hard for me is because I grew up with a lot of Mexican friends and listening to, like, Spanish being spoken, Mexican Spanish, so I could pick up on it. I still can't speak it. I can maybe read it. It just takes me a long time. I'm not conversationally fluent in Spanish whatsoever. So this is Larkwing. Yeah, you need to learn French, Dutch, English, and German. I guess I'm used to saying weird words. Don't really have that problem. So you want to... Yeah, I just really need to focus on this comic. So, we can continue my Czech lessons at another time. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and sometimes Friday. So just be sure to tune in. Oh god, I hate saying that. Is this the right brown? You have a schedule? Yeah, man, you gotta have a schedule. Despite my ADHD being an absolute pain in the ass, I need a schedule to function. I don't have set times, but they're mostly around noon-ish. My specific standard time. So around this time. Whatever time zone that is for you. For me, it's lunch. It's funny. I grew up only knowing English my entire childhood. But I just grew up with watching different kinds of media. So a lot of people have asked me what the hell even my accent is sometimes. They're like, what even is your accent sometimes? I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Sometimes it's Southern, sometimes it is Russian. Sometimes it is French with a bit of German mixed in. I don't know. It's just how it happens sometimes. Sometimes I go full New York and I have no idea why, because I've never been to New York. But I grew up watching the Ninja Turtles. So that's probably why. Okay, since I already know what this guy looks like, I'm gonna go ahead and do his, It doesn't help that I also wanted to be a voice actor when I was a kid. Or get into some sort of voice acting, so learning languages, or just learning accents, was a fun pastime of mine. Also, Chekhov was my favorite character in Star Trek, so that's how I learned to do the Russian accent. And Hitalia was my favorite anime for a while. So accents all around. Waffles, I swear you ain't speaking real words. And the monster is done. But that's not the end of the caffeine. I limit myself to one monster per stream. But I don't limit myself to one caffeine because, as my Twitch tags have said, I am an addict. Straight to black coffee. And I know it's bad for you. You don't have to tell me in the chat. The worst thing you can do to an addict is tell them that their habit is bad for them. We know. I swear y'all are messing with me. I swear. Other countries are just messing with us Americans to make us look dumb. I swear y'all are just messing with us. There's no way. There's no way. German's the same way. There's no way half of those words are real. Like Krankenwagen. You know what a Krankenwagen is? It's an ambulance. I'll be a coffee addict, and I have no idea why. Yeah. I mean, I don't like, getting drunk, but when drinks are available, I prefer, like, soju and whatnot, and the most I have ever gotten drunk, and this is actually a really funny story, the most I've ever gotten drunk was at my grandma's 95th birthday. Which is a hilarious statement to say out of context. But the context is, I had 3.5 sojus, which is like 13% per bottle. But I was eating, I was a good noodle, I was eating plenty of food, and I was staying hydrated. In more ways than one. Okay, so Ant Pelt is actually done already, since he's just a solid brown, but mentally I can't do that, so we're gonna give him a little bit of pizzazz. Maybe some of this here. Some of this. There. That word indicates something that can be multiplied 99 times. Oh, Jesus. I mean, you multiplied the word 99 times. That's what why it's that long. I don't know. I want to try to... What is the longest word in English? Because I'm pretty sure the longest word in English, like American English, is like hippopotamus or something like that. But I'm pretty sure that's not right. If my sister was in chat, I'd ask her to look up what's the longest word in English. Bro's also said to have scars all along his pelt. But this is young Ant Pelt, so this is before he died. Spoilers for a character none of y'all give a shit about. I'll figure him out later. Right now, I'm gonna do Brindle Fur because I already have a riff sheet for her. Okay, thanks for looking up. The longest word in English is the scientific protein name for the protein titin. Well, the scientific name for anything is Latin, so technically not English. But, oh my god, it's that many letters. Jesus Christ, that's not even a word, that's a paragraph. That's a paragraph, that's not a word. Who's coming up with this stuff? Based on where her head... Oops. My bad, there we go. That ain't real. That man is not real. That word is not real. There's a reason why Latin is a dead language, man. It took 10 to 5 business days just to warn someone that there was a train coming. Hey, look out for that bus! Like, oh god, he can't... I couldn't warn him fast enough for speaking Latin! And then everybody died. Of course, Latin was a bit of a dead language before trains were around, but, you know, for the sake of the joke. Three and a half. No, thank you. That man who came up with that crazy... No, that man can go straight to hell. I don't say that lightly, but that man can go straight to hell. Because what's the point of having a word that long? And when the short word for that word is titin. You know they chose that word as the short form because haha, funny tits. And you know that's true. You gotta know that. That's what it was. The longest word in Dutch I could find is... Kinderkarnen wel zo tek worden beerdings ver zim had come... Oh, God. I ran out of breath. What does that mean? I swear to God, if it means something like flower pot or something, I'm kicking you. Not from chat, but in real life, if we ever meet. I kind of wish I gave Brindlefur and the other characters, some scars, like with Hawkstar, because when I draw her without the scar in like a flashback, you know she's a lot younger, because now she has a scar. But back then she didn't have that scar. And I kind of wish I did that for the other characters, to like denote when I'm drawing them when they're a lot younger, aside from them just, you know, having bigger ears and bigger eyes, like I did for that one short tail flashback. But he was like almost still barely a kitten at that point, so I could get away with it. A committee that prepares a carnival parade for children. Well, then just call it a committee. You really need a word for a specific committee? It's like that one scene in that Over the Garden Wall episode. Are there any other committees I should know about? Well, that's enough. You know, when you're bored, you start to like see code with a fridge. Oh my god. Oh, to be that bored. Usually when I'm bored, I just doom scroll. But some people doom scroll when they're bored. Dardoris learns another language to communicate with a friend when they're bored. We are not the same. What was that one? In Over the Garden Wall, they're like, we're the welcoming committee, here to welcome you. Or something like that. And Gred was met with like 3 different committees when he got to Little Kid Heaven. And he's like, are there any other committees I should know? Are there any other committees? And it just showed an elephant with a rain cloud above it, and he said, well, that's enough. God, that show is so funny. It's getting close to Over the Garden Wall season. You know, it's funny, despite being a Halloween series, my family watches it every Thanksgiving. No idea why. I mean, it can be both. But, ooh, that's not, There we go. Ugh. I think we can imply that this is a much younger Brindlefur because of the time period. Also with computers have completely different languages. It's not just binary. There's different types of binary. Even with sign language, there's different types of sign language that you gotta learn. But however, if you want to know the universal sign language where you can talk to mostly anybody, learn chimp sign language. Most people that know sign language of any kind can also speak chimp sign language because it's the most simplistic. And I think if we are to survive as a society, we need to learn, all of us should learn sign language. Because, I mean, it's the superior form of communication. It's hand gestures, it's quiet, it's like, and you can talk, even if you're not deaf, if you've got like a mouthful of food, or if you've just had oral surgery and you can't talk, you just use hand gestures. And with sign language, it's a set hand gestures that anyone can learn. With friend, maybe we will learn that. Yeah, and I mean, the movie A Quiet Place proved why it's a good idea to learn sign language regardless. Because what if there's a situation where you can't make any noise? How are you going to communicate then? You learn sign language. Lucky for that family, they already knew sign language because the eldest daughter was deaf. And it's also cool where you can have different styles of sign language just based on how you sign. Because it's just like your hand movements also denote a tone and accent in addition to your facial expressions. And I think that's just fascinating. And it makes sense if you think about it. Of course, different people would have different style of sign language that denote their personality and how they think and talk. Like, some people are more direct and to the point, so their sign is going to be very shorter. Some people are more expressive, so they're going to have bigger gestures. Like, I talk with my hands anyway, so I might as well learn to speak in hands. And not just knowing how to lay a smack on a bitch. I'm just gonna shade that area, so... yeah. Spider-Man needs to knows how to lay a smack on a bitch. Okay, for this doll... Douglas, man, you go to bed. You got school. What are you doing staying up so late, man? Go to bed. Get out of here. Affectionately, have a good night. I will try. What? Is that the same? No, okay, my pen was just freaking out. Okay, she's a tortoiseshell with a white mark on her forehead. So, sweet baby Jesus, and they're grown one too. How are we gonna do this? Sweet baby rays. Alright, hold up. Okay, I like that. I like that. Just trying to smooge it. Okay, I think I like where this is going. Design-wise. It's just a little bit of a... Yeah, that's good. Drawing these guys kind of makes me want to, it really makes me want to draw the characters, the trainees, the Dark Forest trainees from the other clans. It kind of makes me want to do that. And, like, where they ended up, because, like, one or two of the trainees ended up fighting against the clans, and that was Breezepelt. And for some reason, he was forgiven, just from willy-nilly. Now, granted, that didn't mean his, wasn't, you know, ostracized in any way. Because, like, there was certain bits where it was like, oh, this, warrior, this apprentice received his warrior name. Why is no one congratulating him from his clan? Huh, that's weird. So they were ostracized by the rest of their clan for a good while. And the argument was, that's punishment enough. But at the same time, some of those people committed war crimes. Like, legit broke the code. Like Breezepelt, he legit betrayed the clans. I don't care if it was because he had daddy issues. That's stupid. He made that choice, and then they're like, alright, let's keep him let's just calm him down. Heather, whatever her name, Heathertail, have kids with him. That'll keep him calm and loyal, right? It's like, excuse me? Excuse me? Man, I've been gripping this pen way too tight. My thumb is starting to hurt. Okay, yeah, I think that's good enough. Like, what actually is, hair springs or hair stars? Design? Because just based on that... If I go... Warrior cats, I'm typing it up on my phone. Warrior cats... Not cars. Cats. Hair star. The current one. A small line, brown and white Tom with sleek fur and bright blue eyes. Well, that doesn't give us much. Oh, let's go to... Where's the... Oh, he doesn't have a detailed description. Damn. Based on the official design, he... Okay. Yeah, he's got kind of a more brown on his back. Huh. No, I kind of like this because it's just what the official reference looks like. So if I just go off that... Despite what Moon Kitty has designed him as. Because he's described as brown and white. So that must mean he's got more brown than white. So maybe if I try this again... I do like the brown paws here, but not in the back. Back again! If I do that, maybe. That. Better wind that box or you'll be surprised. What are we hiding? What do we have in store? When gold is the only color we're looking for. Here we are, we're back again. So why does the check say 1987? Five Nights is back again. Speaking of Five Nights at Freddy's, oh my god, have y'all seen the new teaser trailer? Not the new teaser trailer, but the teaser trailer for FNAF 2? I am... Of course I'm hyped, because I love Five Nights at Freddy's. But I am just very intrigued to see where they're going. Do I like it with or without? Okay, I like it without. I forgot her paw pads. There we go. Whenever I design a character, I always try to give them the, top-down camouflage. The two-tone camouflage. You know what I'm talking about, with the, like, sharks have it, where their back is darker and then their underbelly is lighter. It doesn't make any sense for cats to have it, but I always put it on all my characters. I feel like it just makes them look... I don't know. I like having characters with more than one color. Unless that's the point, and then I make them monochrome, but... for these guys, that's not the point, so it's... it's just what I do. It's just what I do. That's a reference to something in a song, and I can't remember what it is for the life of me. Okay. And pelt's done. Hairspring is done. Where is she? Sunstrike is done. Okay, now it's just these two. He's supposed to be just a solid brown. But again, I can't bring myself to do that. His name is Whisker Nose, so I'm gonna give him... more of a muzzle. Even though he kind of looks like Sharptooth with that. No, that doesn't look right. I know it doesn't help that all these pixels are shaded. So even if it says solid color, it's not. There we go. There we go. Oh, he's so cute. I mean, it is really sad with the trainees, because a lot of them genuinely were just trying to do right by their clan, and they were just naive. Or they understood that what they're doing wasn't completely right, but they felt in their hearts that they were doing it for the right reasons. So they could excused all of the red flags in their mind because they knew that they were doing, that they meant good. But of course, not everyone else could see it like that. I personally don't believe that they all should have... Oh, excuse me. That all of the trainees should have been punished, or that their treatment was... What's the word I'm looking for? It was understandable, but, you know, I didn't condone it. Okay, so she's a mackerel tabby? That's a little dark. But when it comes to, like, cats like Breeze Pelt, oh, absolutely. Brother deserved way worse. There's a lot of characters that deserved way worse and then didn't get it, and then whoopsie-daisy. Looks like you should have punished them a little harder from the beginning, eh? Like Ashfur. Why did he go to StarClan and then whoopsie-daisy, later series, he becomes the biggest bad that ever batted? No sense to me. Which is why, like, during Vision of Shadows, I was like, nah, I'm done. Get me out of here. Get me out of this bitch-made franchise. But then again. Thanks for stopping by, Waffles. You have a good night. I'm gonna keep streaming until I'm done with this page. Maybe. And then I'll probably end as well. I'll see you Tuesday. No, not Tuesday. Wednesday. Monday, Wednesday, sometimes Friday. I gotta be careful with how I do these macros. It might look a little innocuous. Like a league of mushrooms. There we go. And we can use that brown. Let's use that a black nose. Oh, she is so cute. These are such babies. Still not sure about Ant Pelt, but I'm only drawing him once, so... F it, we ball. Now for the backgrounds. My favorite part. Unironically. Okay, for these guys, I'm gonna put them... Actually, I know what I'm gonna do for this one, so I'm gonna do a bit of a red. Because in the sketch, I have them in the dark forest here. So that means... Isn't it said in the books that there's eerie light coming from nowhere yet everywhere in the dark forest? I could have sworn it said that somewhere. Because there's no stars and there's no moon. Yet somehow they still can see. Because if it was pitch black, they wouldn't be able to see anything. What's that sound? I know someone's there, hiding in the shadows, thinking I was unaware. Well, who can it be? Would it be? That's a... Hurry up, Let's find out. Oh, bon. Let's make this fun. Never heard me, now it's time to undone. I won't go back to my stage, it's my new trend. Now let's just say hi to the new friend. Like fog is everywhere. I do know that for sure. That was not the right brush mode. Here we go. Okay, there's that one. And then for this one, since I want them to put I want to put them in a green field since they're wing clan. And then dark blue behind them, maybe? Usually I'm really fast with backgrounds because I have a clear idea of what I want everything to be. That's a little too blue. But for instances like this, where it's like, I had an abstract idea, but I just never actually fleshed it out. So that's on my bad, G. You can run, you can't hide, another's friend, another's friend. You can run, you can try, you can run but you can't hide. You can run, you can try, you can run but you can't hide. I feel like she's lying, I feel like I'm dying. She's guiding me quietly, instructing me blindly, afraid of what might be. I feel like I'm dying. What's that sound? Dinosaurs there, hiding in the shadows, thinking I was alone. back. Ah. Ah. Man, I can't tell if that hurts because of my chair or because of something else. Or is it just the way I'm sitting? Probably my posture. Okay, so the sky, from this angle, we got a sharper sky. That's kind of just bleeding through. So we just put that here. I feel like I'm dying. I hear sounds, probably just a mouse. Hear him in the dark, almost like the bomb. I know there's someone there, not as far as I'm aware. Why don't you believe me? Maybe you're right. It's just another night. But I heard a creak, I'm still back to sleep. I'm always quick to rage. Let's be in your stage. Wait, there. Hide. What's that sound? I love that song so much. I love the song You Can't Hide. Ugh, it's so good. Wait. Oops, that's on this layer. Whoopsie. there's that one, and then I'm gonna put this on hard light at 50. Remember all that hard work we put into this background? Yeah, gone now because I'm a beast when it comes to lighting. I need coffee. No, that's good. That's okay. That's good. Definitely. This... Okay, she... died. This baby doll died. So that means her... line art needs to be lighter. And she needs stars around her. So, we're gonna get that. Bring the sparkle. The sparkle, sparkle. There we go. Aw, she's so cute! So everyone else is gonna get, different lighting. Because no, my dumbass just has to put everyone on separate layers for the sake of ease. You know what? Hang on. Let's try something. I'm gonna put all of their layers, yeah, on the same layer and see if it's easier or less messy when it comes to the rendering. Also did that with the lighting as well. I'm gonna use blue lighting for these guys. And their lighting's gonna come... I really like low lighting. But I also like the idea of the light coming down on them because they fought with... They prove their loyalty, their true loyalties in the end. And I guess this asshole can also be shaded and can be shaded in blue. Because ultimately he was forgiven and he's not a complete dickhead now. From what I've heard. But I'm gonna make his lighting slightly more purple to show that there's still... Actually, I'm just gonna put red. And blue. And thus implies purple. Oh, that's the wrong brush. Blur. There we go. There. See, it made purple. I'm gonna put a red multiply layer on top of these guys to make it look like they're in red lighting. Maybe 40? 40 might be too much. No, I think 40's good. Okay, for this one, gonna add... Oh, that's too thick. There we go. Okay, I I should. I don't mean to go nonverbal. Jesus Christ, that was probably a jump scare for y'all. I don't mean to go nonverbal for as long as I do on these streams, guys. But I was just, like I said, I just locked in for a sec. And I also got the stupid Family Force 5 song stuck in my head called Sweep the Leg. I don't know why it's in my head, but it won't leave. Save. Ooh. MediBang not responding. No! Don't do that! Uh-oh. That's lasting a little longer than it should. Come on, MediBang, pull through. Pull through. I need you to save, buddy. Whew. Phew. It's saved. I think that's a good a sign as any. I'm gonna add the name tags off stream because that's gonna be a lot of futzing around with figuring that out. And by off stream, I mean in like 20 minutes. So, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to all our new followers. New follower. On stream or off stream, either way, your views are appreciated. And if you're watching this in the future on YouTube, don't be shy to comment a timestamp to your favorite part. Clip it. Send it to me. Make cringe edits. I don't care. That's the whole reason I'm posting the VODs on YouTube, for y'all to make fun of me. It's like I said on the last post, can't let all this cringe go to waste. This VOD won't be up for a long while, but the other VODs are coming soon on the YouTube channel if you're watching in the future. But if you're watching in the not too distant future later on Twitch, hi, hello, my name is Rune, I work on comics and all sorts of art, and the streams are usually about this level of deranged. Anyway, I stream every Monday, Tuesday, and sometimes... Why do I keep saying Tuesday? Monday, Wednesday, and sometimes Friday. I post the comic on DeviantArt every Tuesday and Thursday, which are all linked in the description and in the About section. So, I am gonna go take a stretch and bathroom break and get some water, and I highly suggest you do the same. And in the meantime, we will see you later.
You're all going to hell. Goodbye.